because he does so much magic damage, actually just doesn't have that much bully potential on the Kassadin in lane.
Yeah, the one thing would be, you talk about sacking the early game. They've got Zac, they have Kassadin lane, they have Zyra lane.
Yeah.
TSM are kind of giving way to the early game here and saying, Immortals, have at it.
Right.
See what you can do. If you cannot snowball, you will lose.
That's true. There's no guarantee Zyra wins the bot lane. We don't know Olleh's champion just yet. There's a chance it works. And Tahm Kench, Kog'Maw, not the strongest of lanes. I actually expect TSM's duo to have a bit of power on that one. And we'll see what their final pickup ends up being. Jarvan is still a flex right now. If he's top lane, he'll be more damage focused by a little bit. They might need that in the damage profile. Sejuani is going to be coming through in the jungle role, so triple frontline once again, but actually some physical damage out of Flame in the top lane will help that damage profile a bit.
And getting Flame back on one of the picks he succeeded the most on during the regular season. Oftentimes on Jarvan or Renekton, Immortals succeeded, but a classic pick for Xmithie in Sejuani. Not the most dominant early game jungler either, so a little bit of a mid-game spike that Immortals is going to be looking for.
In the match.
Also, Olleh is going to be working overtime on this Kog'Maw, trying to save people from the Rakan initiations, trying to save people from Zac Elastic Slingshot as well. Everybody's got to be looking on the ground for those shadows because he can't be everywhere at once.
Yeah, and the Renekton is to match the Jarvan as far as laning power here. The one fear for TSM, as you mentioned, Kobe, is the early game and the amount of range damage Immortals can do to turrets. So if TSM stumbles a little bit in the early game, there is a chance that Immortals can just rotate around, take multiple turrets early, hit the item power.
And that's a buff steal out for Xmithie, triple buff, 3.5 minutes in.
Yeah, but the gold for the junglers is the same because you get so much gold from the Krugs and the Raptors. So Xmithie trying to make the most of having pushing mid lane against Zac.
Body Slam comes in, they get the dunk, and they get the first blood as well. Look at that, Xmithie getting the kill to Flame in the top lane. Now, and Sven waiting in the wings. He's going to find Flame. Ooh, nice little juke in the auto attack. Means not a lot of follow through. Gets rid of the passive, and here comes Corki, and he gets pushed right back in though with the let's bounce, pulls him to the turret, stays alive. Xmithie now part of the fray. But be careful. TP up, you can't kill him.
Towards the turret, but there were minions there already.
Hanser flash, they got him in turret range. Absolute perfection out of Hanser. That was so immaculate. The trade kill comes in, but watch out, the CC is coming across, and it's 4 kills coming up. The ulti in doesn't really matter. A 3-for-1 advantage. TSM, they completely crushed that fight under the turret.
Oh my goodness, Haunter goes down in the end. That's why Svenskeren goes for that dive in between the two turrets.
Flame still wants to battle up against Haunter in this one. Going to see what kind of damage he can deal because now Xmithie's in the fray. He's going to start stacking up the possible stuns. The flash and chase with the W, they're going to get the damage out, but the stun going to break as well. And despite the ulti pop, he's got no way out. I believe the ulti even popped for Xmithie to guarantee it comes through.
Yeah, he was getting the double freeze there, and the only way to do that is to hit with your first one and then use the ultimate to get the second stun. So it's
he who makes the first move in those situations can be punished. There goes Sven.
Blocks off the Valkyrie, but doesn't land the knockback just yet. Looks for the next play, though. Pulls an Xmithie. Here comes the big trade in towards Belter. But a forced flash out. The stun's going to land, though. They're going to land it all together. The TP is up, though. They can buy some time. Do they use it? Yes, they do. Teleports come in from both, actually. And they're going to see what happens to the bot lane now as he chops up one, but can't get the kill. The trade on the Zac in the mid lane did come through, but at the end of the day, it's TSM again. They both TP'd to try to stop it. Hanser shows up, but gets not much for it.
Still a big play down bottom 2v2. Everyone on the map fighting at the same time right there, but Svenskeren pulling Xmithie in is exactly...
But they've still got to use that gold at some point. They haven't backed in a while. A bit of a stun and a Biofrost, so the chase continuing for Xmithie. No ulti quite yet available. The slows are landing. They might get in the flash force. The dunk, though, still going to come through from downtown. Flame takes them out.
They're going to have gold, and they also are going to have map territory here with all the outer turret advantage to Immortals. They're
trying to join.
And they're going to catch him again. Hot out in the top river. Zac, one with the earth again.
Xmithie Sejuani has been very clean this game. He's consistently getting the permafrost stun and then getting the ultimate off. You have to be really ahead of the play in order to make that happen, obviously, because you have to get close to them, stack up the stun, detonate it, and then hit the second. But it's so much more damage from the combo for him, and it's setting up most of, if not all of Immortals' kills.
It's such an interesting race here, because Immortals are playing to their comp.
There's the flash out. Bjergsen has the ulti up in a couple seconds, and he's going to be safe for that one. But still, look at this damage in the turret. Immortals really turning up the pace.
Definitely pressing ahead. They continue to find the picks. They continue to pressure for turrets as well.
And for shields, the turret's still going to fall. That's 4-1 into grabs the big chicken. This Smite's going to be back up before too terribly long. They just can't rush Baron just yet. Looks to be engaged though. Actually, Sven wants in. Gets a bit of damage, knocks them together. Here comes the charm, the knockup as well. The rest of the team going to join in. TP coming in just now for Flame. Do they have the damage over the big storm? Going to rage on, do plenty of damage. Sven right back into the mix yet again. Featherstorm knocked out, and now into Bloblets. Haunts are already part of the mix. And the front line taking plenty of damage. Going to knock him down. Yes, one kill on a Sven. And then dunk into the back line. They get a double kill out for Pobelter. Looking for a second championship, but a knock up there. The re-engage for Haunts. Looks for the stun. Does pick up Olleh. Running away, but he's going to still lose his life. And now Biofrost going to fall. 4-1 advantage Immortals.
That's exactly what Immortals wanted. They've been poking around for a fight, and Svenskeren gave it to them.
Especially when Svenskeren uses his ultimate to escape with the Raptors to then fight right afterwards. Immortals knew this was the fight to go all in, and they bide their time during that fight as well. Flame holds his Cataclysm until exactly the right moment, and they get 4 kills plus the Baron.
They know there's no threat. Doublelift doing the best he can with his time to push down mid. He does actually manage to knock down mid. Outers as falls, but a Smite comes through for time for themselves. Back and forth, damage up coming through, and just the wave clear, but that turret's down to half HP.
This is definitely a peak in Immortals' power. The huge gold difference now, just spiking with the Baron buff. Package is actually down, but they've got another wave to push with.
Gonna get a lot of damage to this one. Turret down to 2/3 so far. Who wants to engage with TSM? Pretty much nobody. Is Baron timing out in a few seconds, but they finish the turret in time. The engage comes across. They found Corky. They've got him. The shutdown comes through into Pobelter, and it's now the fight. 5v4. Can they get more? Catapult comes across, but Bjergsen getting the kill to Cody's son. Only 3 left alive. Another knockup in for Biofrost, but it's Olleh on the wings trying to buy some time. Now the disengage for the IMT tanks. The solo lane in the jungle trying to run away, and they will survive, but a 3-for-0 to TSM right as Baron falls off.
And it was Doublelift who snuck enough feathers behind Pobelter and Cody's son to get the root while they were greeting for that turret. Such a critical turn here as Bjergsen picked up a couple of kills, and they still want Xmithy.
Smithy forced to ult to buy some time, so it's a flash get away, and then the Arctic Assault.
The split push. But Immortals just really focusing on controlling the vision around Baron and leading up to it. Now he's even coming in for a flank, but he's passing over wards as well.
The attempt, and they know it's a fog of war. There's no guarantee this is happening. Blue Trinket used the right time. Sven is around the wings. Can Olleh stop him? He's not going to go for it just yet. And they're going to get the elastic slingshot to come out. He is going to dive into this one. Here comes the team fight. Flame's going to disengage. Nice knock him out of the back lane. They pull in Olleh. The Cataclysm going to pull him right back in. Look at the damage of it. They've knocked down Biofrost. But the fight continues with Olleh dropping out of health. But no, a double kill first. In the back lane, trade it back. It's all the damage on the Haunter. Staying alive, but it's Cody's son still able to hit. And he's killed everybody on this one. Only 2 dead for Immortals. The ace coming through cleanly, and Baron is a formality.
Full stack Rage Blade Kog'Maw is not the one that Bjergsen goes to assassinate. The double marksman, Bjergsen killed Pobelter, could not get Cody's son, and Olleh just ate all the damage at the start of that fight for the front line of Immortals.
That is a sight of the team fight. TSM were able to sneak through the feathers. See if they can do it again. Only a couple of shots left.
So that's the turret falling, so there's a lot less distance to cover. The first blade color already used. Now the inhibitor open, and normally a team will not defend when the turret's already gone, but they're going to go for this one. Knock him out. Olleh, let's bounce. Only pulls in the support, though. He's going to pop the shield, stays alive. A nice storm comes across. That's going to be the first kill. And Haunter's dead. There's no backline threat anymore. As the second kill comes in, Rakan is gone. And Immortals with the double kill on Cody's son, looking to make it keep happening. And it's a knockup with the flash from Flame on a Bjergsen. 3 kills so far, and it's only the backline left, and he can't do much with it as the double actually came through for Flame. And Doublelift can now only watch as suddenly it's going to be Immortals picking up the kills in the Nexus turrets. Looking to knock down the minions. 5v1. I'm not sure he can do this one. But this one to buy some time. Wants to kill Flame. No blade call yet to be had, though. And Pobelter looking to kill him. His ex-teammate from 2 teams ago under the turret. As the turrets fall, the Nexus now laid bare, and Immortals gonna tie up the series 1-1, hoping to be and gain that first championship.
We have ourselves a series here at the TD Garden. Immortals have arrived. That was such a strong performance by Xmithy, completely changing his goals from game 1 to game 2. Does get kills in the early game, but specifically finding the mid-game fights. They could not get good initiations onto TSM in game 1. That changed in a big way here in game 2.
The differences in front lines was huge in this game. Incredibly tanky Olleh there with the Abyssal Void.